Oh, no, just...
Why don't you come down tonight, and before I kick his ass, I'll kick your ass.
Okay.
All right?
Just calm down.
On April 11th, Undertaker and Vader are promoting the WWF shows in Kuwait with the popular Kuwaiti morning show host, Bassem Al Othman.
In Kuwait, I mean, I'm sure you heard this before, that they say this wrestling is not for real. Is it like you act, or?
Well, let's put it this way. What we do, if it is acting, we take a normal man and break him in half. You know, that's such an unoriginal question for someone to ask. You know, and it's so easy for people to pass judgment and make all these questions about what wrestling is. Wrestling is one of the finest athletic endeavors that you will ever see. Not only do you get the best of athletics, but you get people who can actually sell tickets by just their character alone. There's several people who could care whether or not I can wrestle or not. But the message that I bring when I go to the ring, my creatures of the night, they don't care what it is. But I mean, let me assure you, it's the most physical thing that you would ever do in your life.
يمكن ما قدرت أتابع بشكل عام لكن أعتقد
Allegedly, the questions that were to be asked were gone over ahead of time, and the question as to whether or not wrestling was fake was on the list. Dave Hebner has accompanied the guys there as the WWF liaison and denied that the guys or anyone agreed to a fake question, but did say it was at the bottom of the list of questions they received. They just never got that far because it was the last question on the list. Well, of course, this guy leads with that question and asks it very early on. The WWF would say that an English-speaking producer there told the wrestlers to, quote, ham it up. And the Undertaker answered this question that it was entertainment, but the injuries were very real. Vader then responds kind of calmly that he's not as diplomatic, and then grabs the guy, starts shaking him, and saying the question is bullshit before shoving the guy down over some chairs. And there's like a table and a plant that's turned over in the process. They go to commercial, and when they come back, both Vader and the host are gone. And the host wasn't on the show again. And then, of course, the TV folks called the police. So Vader was arrested for assault and his conduct, because you can't swear on television there. So I know you don't remember in particular, but in this era, who would have been the person to set these type of interviews up? A local promoter? Or
yeah, probably someone in the local market, whoever was promoting the shows. But, and I unfortunately got a lot of information on this. The guys did know that question was coming, and Undertaker told everyone he would handle it. Just let him handle it. Just don't answer it. Don't remark. Just let him handle it. The guys were told not to touch anybody, and, you know, obviously no cussing, no kind of language like that. And especially when you're in a foreign land, you're a guest.
Right.
So you act appropriately and accordingly. And there probably was a time, not probably, there was a time in the business that you would handle that question in that way. You know, it's funny when you look back on it, because the business has always been entertainment. And guys would get insulted and offended when someone would ask them, well, isn't this entertainment? Most of the time they would use the word fake. The business is not fake. I hate that word. It's not fake. It's entertainment. And they're highly trained athletes. The shit they do hurts. And not just any Yahoo can go in and do what they do. So it is offensive when someone calls you a fake. But when it's your business and you get hit with, you get hit with it all the time. You can either handle it the tactful way and move on and take the interview somewhere else. Back in the day, you would be the bully way, and you would, I'll show you what's fake. You know,
it's a good business. Yeah, it's a good business. I wouldn't be in it if it wasn't.
John Stossel.
Damn, I can't think of his name. John Stossel. Dr. D.
Dr. D, yeah.
You know, you can handle it that way. And guys used to like to, I'll show you what's fake. Well, come on, man. Well, it's entertainment. And there was, I'm sure Dave went over all of that stuff with him, and I know he did because, you know, Taker told me he did.
الرفع والهبد اللي قاعد يصير على هذا لا يمكن أن تكون يوم من الأيام تمثيل لأنها تحتاج إلى أجسام وقوة معينة. Is it just for the wrestling shows that...
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, yeah.
You gave him a chance to respond to that question.
This is the question I'm going to ask you now.
I'd like to respond to the same question.
Okay, please, go ahead.
Well, my astute colleague, the heavyweight champion of the world, very diplomatic individual. I'm perhaps not quite so diplomatic. In fact, I find your question and your remarks insulting to what I do. Physically, no man can do what I do in the ring. If they could, why wouldn't they be out there making the type of money we make and enjoy the type of fame and lifestyle that we enjoy? So I find you...
هذه شيء من الاثنين، يا اما صجيه يا اما المخرج عاملها لعبه. في كل الاحوال انا راح اعتذر عن الموضوع هذا. اذا احد من الشباب يحب يقابلهم لا ما في تكمله. رجاء ننتقل.
Later, Vince would say that the host of the show asked for a $35,000 cash settlement to drop the charges, but then the guy just disappeared, or at least that's Vince's story. Some of the boys called BS on that and said that Vince made an offer, but the host was doing very well for himself and turned it down. It's worth mentioning all this happens over a religious holiday where the courts are shut down, so that kind of just stretches it out a little more. So Vader's just sitting there. When did you first hear about some sort of idea of, hey, let's just give the dude some money and make it go away?
Well, that's always a consideration in situations like this. It's okay. When someone wants to make that big of a deal out of it, usually they're looking for a payday. So I was like, what will make this go away? It's business.